kind of charity work lately, and yearly doing something for Toys for Tots. You deserve a pat on your evil clown back for that.
Yeah, just try to pop some of my back knee with that pat. It will help me out, too, with that.
So tell us about what you have coming up Friday the 13th, because it is yet another charity event.
Oh,
I'm thinking about your back knee now.
Yeah. Friday the 13th. You and I have done a show before on Friday the 13th, and it's at the same place as Cats, and otherwise known as KC in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And it's our second annual Metal for Meals. And last year, if you guys went to that, it was a big deal. We had a couple local bands and a couple touring ones on it. And this year's no different. We got Roadkill there, Black Vendetta, Orcamentary, which this guy is pretty interesting. He's a one-man metal band. And I've yet to see anybody touch on this.
A one-man Lord of the Rings obsessed metal band.
But he's really good. I didn't know what to think of him until I went to one of your shows. I showed him, he showed Opening Up. I said, I don't know about this. Last time I saw a one-man band was Dorian, and it chased like half the people out, so I wasn't too sure, but they were good. And then we're, of course, headlining is All for Blood. They're an incredible local metal band. They do a lot of touring stuff. I'm very excited to have them aboard with us. DJ Psycho Eddie's going to be mixing heavy metal throughout the whole night. And myself and the Chuckles and Laugh Show are going to have probably one of the most raunchiest live shows you have ever seen.
Make it the most raunchy, because this, after all, is my birthday.
Oh, I am going to make this especially bloody for you. Bloody, gory, offensive, not a children-friendly, because after all, it's 21+, children-friendly environment. It's only a $5 cover, and all you got to do is bring a canned food item. So,
which in that neighborhood would be pretty popular.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to bring a canned food item. I mean, that's fine, but you're probably going to get charged $10 at the door. So just bring down a canned food item or two, and all the proceeds and the food goes back to the Rhode Island Food Bank. So it's helping out those getting closer to the holidays.
Yeah, of course. Now, I don't know, Tony, about what you think about this evil clown charity thing, but I don't know. I still can't get it out of my head that he's setting us all up, for something diabolical further on down the road. That
never know.
At one of these events, we were, well, not us, because we know him well enough to he'll spare our lives. But I don't know. I can just see him like taking out that guillotine or wielding that cleaver and just decimating the entire charitable
creating goodwill in the meantime.
He's going to do the reverse carry. You're all going to walk in. He's
I didn't think about the guillotine, but thank you. That's a good idea.
So bring me to the idea of and how you came about thinking of using heavy metal for a food bank charity event, because I mean, and everybody in this room, we're all pretty creative guys. I don't think that I would put those two together and think about basing that as an event. Was there any specific thing that put, except for I guess most metal dudes I know are like a step away from being homeless, but other than that, is there anything that brought heavy metal and the food bank together, or was it just a random whim?
It's really like I was trying to save two things at once. The metal scene in Rhode Island is dying out. I mean, all around, I don't think it's just Rhode Island. It's just, you don't have as many big metal shows around that I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can let me know, but you don't get them as many as you used to when I was growing up. And I'm trying to save
a lot of the bigger metal bands went national. So Converge and all those bands are
so the little guys, they have nothing to come up and play with. And a lot of places don't want to book metal because it's one of those things where you think you're going to book metal, it's going to be trouble. So I said, okay, I'll get that image out of your head. We'll book the metal bands at the same side. We'll have them help bring food in. So when people think of metal, they're not going to think, hey, these guys are all troublemakers.
Again, I like this. Lulling the entire community into a false sense of security so that when the Haunted Cabaret books a metal show, they won't know what hit them.
Exactly. But it helps people out. I mean, let's face it, no one has money in this area. You live in Rhode Island. So $5, and then you help someone out with the food, which someday you might be the one picking up that food that you help drop off.
Now, reassure us the food will not be
soon.
The food will not be spoiled and or radioactive.
I cannot assure that. There are some really whacked out people that come to these shows, so I can't assure that. Last year, we actually had a gentleman that just got out of jail, and he wanted to come down to the show, and I said, yeah, sure. and he had actually brought juice that he had bought when he was getting released.
So you're going to say he made it in jail?
He might have, but the stuff was like 6 months expired. And then one of them was already open, and he put them in the food bank thing. So we had to say, "Yeah, come on in." We didn't want to say like, "No, you can't do that."
Especially to a guy that just got out of jail.
Yeah, and a couple
no.
people later, someone tried donating expired hot dogs. So it happens.
So just as a reminder, non-perishable food
please,
items.
Non-perishable.
Don't show up with a turkey.
No glass items. None of that stuff. No juice unless it's in a can. Make sure it's not expired, please.
No gin and juice either.
Yeah, along those lines, guys, it's a little off the subject, but you might want to go on Facebook and or Google and come up with the story by Joe Moody from Danger Studio. Tony, have you seen this?
No.
Yeah, well, Joe Moody has posted on Facebook the story of how he received a knock on his studio door one of these hot summer days, and it was a fellow selling a bag of steaks.
I've seen that out there. The people that go door to door and sell
I actually
meat.
had that happen to me.
Oh, jeez.
Really?
Well,
so this is more common than...
Well, I was out walking across my driveway. This is when I lived in Rhode Island, and some guy just pulled up and asked if I wanted to buy steaks. And I'm like, I'm vegetarian, so I'm like, sorry. He's like, what about your neighbor? I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, though.
Oh, no, that's fine. Add to the mayhem.
I mean, any way to make a living, I guess. But
yeah, my heart went out to the guy. But.
Some things don't translate to door-to-door sales.
No, not on a 95-degree day with no refrigeration. I mean, apparently this guy had been, according to Joe, this guy had been walking around the streets for hours with this shopping bag.
Did you buy any meats?
He hustles, that guy.
Actually, I do remember I was working as a young man, working at a gas station, and the person didn't have money for their gas, and they wanted to trade me meats for gas, and that was the same kind of type deal where they were a traveling meat salesman.
Did you take the meat?
I did not take it. I did not take the meat. No, I did not take the meat. Okay, I'm going to spin a few more tunes, and we'll come back. We'll get into the meat of Davey's organization, the socials, the big event coming up, which has some fantastic bands playing. But before that, we're going to hear from the Pity Whores.
on a sandy lawn as a sophomore with reggaeton
Vampire Weekend right here on the Tony Jones Show. Cape Cod, Quazza Quazza, the name of that one. And before that, we heard from the Pity Whores. And I know the name of the album is Too Drunk to Drive. However, I don't know the name of that track because it's just a handwritten Sharpie type thing. But it sounds good. I mean, that's what's key, right?
Yeah, do it yourself.
It was number 2 on this handwritten Pity Whores album, but I can't tell you the name. But we love the Pity Whores, and I would like to have them back in this very studio. You're listening to The Tony Jones Show, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show. TonyJones.org is my website. George Garner is my co-host. George,
yes, he is.
Good evening. Chuckles the Klown in studio. Davey Moore in studio. Tell us a little bit about the Midday Records social, which have been... Now, I want to know about the venue where you have the social, because I have been going out in Providence for years and years and years and years and years. And I guess I don't get down to that district much, but I never knew that place was back there. I was looking up Poe Street, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. It's a nice place, but I had no idea.
They're not traditionally a live music venue, so a lot of the people in the music scene don't really know about platforms. But the area's a little rough, but you're right. When you get inside, it's actually a very nice venue.
It's really nice. It reminds me a lot of Club Gallery, the similar layout, and big and roomy, and lots of places to park.
I know the owner. My wife's actually worked there for like the last 10 years bartending. But I chose that venue just because with the first Midday Social, I had no clue what the turnout would be. So if it didn't go well, I'm not burning bridges for places Satellites Fall has to perform at, or Midday Records wants to work with booking all the shows. So it was kind of helping them out, bringing a new crowd to them, and also, a new place for us to work. So,
and a lot of people that listen may be familiar with the Boston Rock and Roll Social, which they do pretty regularly, which is kind of a similar type event for. Well, you could probably explain it better than I can, but for networking and musicians and radio